What's up, basement dwellers? Welcome to another edition of the Weekly Protocol. I am your host, Chris, the Dace Man, Dace, and sorry this is dropping on a Friday and not a Thursday, but our editor is a little wonky, forgot the calendar, and didn't get it edited in time for a Thursday release. This week, I'll be joined by Mr. Tyler Fried and Miss Trish Bell to talk about baseball and the baseball experience. Stadiums, which ones are the best, what's the best features, the game itself, what's your favorite food to get there, the whole 9 yards, or the whole 9 innings when it comes to baseball. So we'll be throwing the balls and strikes, talking about the majors and the minors with Mr. Tyler Fried and Trish Bell. But of course, we're in April. That also means the Dacetacular Gaming for a Cause 11 is on the horizon. April 25th to the 27th. You're going to hear this pitch all 3 weeks leading up to the event. We got 3 episodes of the Weekly Protocol coming for you, and then the 4th week, the week of, we'll be giving you a live Weekly Protocol in the days or on the Dacetacular Gaming for a Cause 11 set. So look out for that one. But April 25th, 10 a.m. to 2 a.m., the 26th, 10 a.m. to 2 a.m., and then the 27th, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., we're streaming for a cause, and that cause is the Deptford Township High School Drama Department and Program. We're going to go to anything you donate will go to theater or auditorium upgrades, stuff they could use for their stage crew, costumes, licensing agreements, anything that puts on a production within that auditorium will be covered by what we donate or what you donate to our event, and we hand over to the school. We are incentivizing your donations. $5 gets you into the raffle, where you can win a PlayStation 5 on Sunday night, $200 to Amazon on Saturday night, or maybe even 4 tickets to see the Philadelphia Phillies versus the Atlanta Braves, May 27th. 645, Section 203, Row 4, Seats 7 through 11, I believe. There you have it. Game is on the horizon. Baseball up on the slate for today. Here on the Weekly Protocol, I'm Chris the Dace Man Dace, and on the other side of these commercials will be Tyler Fried, Trish Bell, and we're talking baseball and the baseball experience. Take me out to the ball game, baby. The protocol is back.
Are you a fan of the Philadelphia Phillies? Want to hear local takes from fellow fans?
Never a doubt, baby. Never a doubt. I knew they were going to be where they're at right now. I knew they're coming in. I'm pretty sure we did talk about how they were taking over the Braves this year.
Well, check out the Jersey Fanatics.
Yeah, if you're sort of fit, go into the center field and just talk to the security guard and see if he can pull you down.
Tyler, Eric, and the Dace Man break down all things Philadelphia Phillies from a South Jersey perspective.
I have a whole theory. I know I told you guys, but I think for every pitch tomorrow, we should just boo them. Every single pitch.
Available wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Are you feeling overwhelmed? Tired of the same old routine, cleanup, laundry, day after day? Have no time for yourself? Okay. Who wants to hear all that? Come with me. After you become a parent, it's hard to get back in the gym and get yourself into a routine that works not just for you, but for your spouse and for your kids. It's tough, I know. But you know what? It's not that hard when you got somebody like me that is there to help you out, to get you that routine that you need, work with you every single day, and get you back that body that you want. So quit complaining. Stop going on about your mom pouch and your dad bod. Get into the DMs, and let's get started together. I'm here for you.
Welcome back to this week's protocol. I'm on Tyler Frame and Tricia Bell in baseball pitches, and we're talking about the baseball protocol. We're going to talk about kind of things of like what's our favorite thing at the stadium. What's our favorite? Well, obviously our favorite team is probably given the area we're from.
Obviously the Yankees, right?
Did that hurt you?
It's called satire.
Hilarious.
And then playing the season and stuff like that. So, right on the gates. And we're what's your team?
Go Phils. That's it. That's my team. That's it. That's all you need to know.
Same thing.
There you go.
Maybe not that emphatically, but
It's got to be that emphatically. I bleed red, so obviously it's got to be the Phillies. You know, right?
Perfect sense. We'll try. This is a big. We're calling on the Phillies. It will definitely be heavily weighed in one direction.
Also, Phillies.
Phillies in 6 of what?
That's next. That's all you need to know.
Okay. Phillies in 6. This week, next week, we'll see.
it's only the third. Wait.
Phillies, that's all I'm saying.
All right. Let's talk about first the length of the season. So, 18 games. 18 weeks and then like 4 weeks for
17 games, one bye week,
Right.
and then there's 4 weeks of playoffs.
Okay. So baseball runs from February to December, with the spring training starting in February all the way to about the end of March. The season now starts in March, which typically used to be April. Runs all the way to the end of September, and then the postseason runs October. And I think they've moved up to March, so they don't go into November, but it can.
It's crazy. It's almost like the best sport is within the best time frame of the calendar. So
You're absolutely right. And then you take a break for Christmas, and then you're back. What do you think about the length of the season?
I love it because it's one of those games that's like you just kind of want to, like you don't have to watch every single inning. So like I like being able to like come home from work and just kind of throw on a game and just be in the background.
Makes total sense. You can kind of come in at any point of the season and like know what's happening.
I think if you can track and then come back if you need. Like if you're like too busy and you can't keep up. If you miss a football game, but shit, you gotta wait another week.
It's just stressful.
Right.
Like, you gotta make sure Sundays are available.
Exactly. That's what I mean. With baseball, you're like, oh, is there a game on tonight? Like, fuck it. Like, the only time it's a really big deal is if you're actually going into Philly, and that's when it gets dicey, because then, like, that area is not the easiest to get around when there's a game. It's not.
I mean, it's just don't be a bitch about it.
I'm not a bitch. I still go. I just plan ahead.
76 is a bitch during the week if there's a game at night.
Absolutely.
I've come
If
from the way down.
if it's a 6 o'clock game, anything else is not too bad when you're getting home from work.
I don't play at 6.
Whatever it is, 6:05, 6:45.
It's 45.
Is it 45 now? Okay.
Yeah. 4:05, 3:05,
Whatever.
1:05, 11 a.m. now.
It's random times. It's very weird.
And that's the special thing about baseball.
Just whenever you can just turn on TV, baseball is going. When it comes to baseball, it is a long season. I think another interesting fact about baseball is the minor league systems. Yes, there's some in football. There are minor league teams are different leagues at least. Like there's the Canadian Football League. There's the USL called
And they don't really interact like that. Like not the way that baseball interacts with the minor league.
Like college football, like there's you get a weekend out of it. The interesting thing I like about baseball, and I believe hockey's the same, maybe basketball. I don't follow that enough. But
they have a G League.
They have a G League. I do think it's interesting that like if the Phillies are out of town, which they are to start the season, you could have technically gone and see the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. Do you think the experience of this sport having the ability to check out the minors as well as checking out the majors makes it unique to the point where it's more enjoyable?
I've never really dived into the minor leagues. I guess it doesn't make it because you can go see players that you would normally the major leagues can go down to the minor leagues, especially when they're on like their injury assignments. It's a good way to see those players, I guess. I don't know.
I know it was a big deal in Lehigh when Bryson took rehab assignments.
It's not a wouldn't do that, right?
Usually, if you get a rehab assignment, you get sent up to the minor leagues a week.
Like Bryce Harper level. Like,
Right.
do that, but
Bryce's was because he came back from TJ surgery or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, Bryce did minors. He just came right back to the team last year.
a lot of times. Topic. No, like minor league is pretty cool. Especially like when you want to go like the Clearwater, not Clearwater, the Jersey Threshers. We're seeing like the guys that were just drafted. So like you get to kind of see like the future of the team. So it's interesting.
So it's kind of like seeing the third string without having the rest of them injured.
Or like seeing like the
future.
Six.
But I'm just saying, like normally in like football, like your lower level dudes, like you almost never see them play.
You're gonna compare it to football. It's like seeing the practice squad.
Okay, yeah, right.
Essentially, because like they're probably not playing, but like hopefully they have.
They'd still give them more of a chance than if they were and than anything else.
Yeah.
And this might be more of a question for you when it comes to the baseball, but do you feel like the minor leagues give away better stuff on their team nights than the major leagues?
Oh, absolutely. Minor leagues,
What do they do in the minor
they just
leagues?
know how to like market because they need to market.
Well, yeah, they got to get people.
I have an Alec Bohm bobblehead that does the Bohm song, or and then I also have a Star Wars Mandalorian jersey from the Lehigh Valley Pigs.
But like just their team names like alone, like a lot of teams they do like. They don't rebrand, but they do like segments of the season where they like kind of link them into the team. And it's just like that alone is kind of interesting. They always do like themed jerseys, which you don't see in the MLB because Nike's a fucking asshole. And
I do think
you only get 5 jerseys. Why? Because you're lazy and you can't just print more? Stupid.
I think the theme nights on the MLB teams are just getting kind of like stale anyways. They do the same things almost every year. They don't change it up anymore. You've got like Marvel nights, you've got like Italian Heritage Night, you got Star Wars. You got a bobblehead at some point. You have a bucket hat at some point. You got Mother's Day and Father's Day, but like they haven't really changed it much in the last couple.
What more do you want them to do?
I was telling him like I saw like dive into other parts of pop culture, like other things, like one of like the Red Sox, who's Boston. They were doing. There was like they're trying to get women there clearly, so they did like a theme night for a really popular book series. Like you could dive into other like popular things. Like you could do
50 Shades of Grey.
No, it's called Fourth Wing.
Like if they were doing bondage out in left field.
But they did a jacket. Even they don't do that,
Like Boston.
they did a jacket for that. Like there's a whole like that, and it looks really nice.
But like you need to have the proper sponsors for that. Right? That's not.
Oh.
Like, Philadelphia might not have the sponsor for that.
But also, are they even trying to do more than that? Is my
I
point.
think it's kind of twofold there. They had way better theme nights when the team sucked because they're trying to get you through the door.
Right.
Versus now that they don't have to.
right.
The minor leagues, like they need to advertise for you to show up. Like they need to have those team nights.
Yeah.
Because like I mean, realistically, like I'd rather go watch the Phillies than go up to Lehigh and see
Garrett Stubbs.
Scott Kingery, who couldn't make it to the team for so long and now is gone. R.I.P.
I just think it would be like they're getting like it's the same thing over and over again. It seems like
That's fair. I do think the quality has shifted a little bit. They did Harry Potter, I think, is a new night that kind of made its way in. Star Wars night's been a staple.
But Harry Potter's in the last couple. I mean, like almost every theme night.
Harry Potter is now making a return. So that's what I'm saying. Like the sponsorship, advertisement, like. You need to have them available in order to create new.
But I feel like everything doing around here, almost everything just like a hat too.
It's baseball.
I know, but there's other things actually. Like they had scarves, like jerseys, like shirts.
How many times have you seen a baseball player wear a fucking scarf?
They did, but I compliment last year.
How many baseball players have you seen?
I think it's okay. And why did the city connectors look like a union?
Talk about City Connect jerseys. That is something they tried to reach out on. Washington is on the spec, which I thought was interesting.
That's why I asked about.
Washington's had a City Connect for like 6 years now.
Oh,
That City Connect was
It'll be 5 years. Yeah, you're right.
so far enough. But the City Connect, I mean, it's really cool because if done right. Because they're honestly taking the influence of the city. I liked Washington's first one. The second one, like, I get it, but it's not as cool. It's not as nice. Like,
I did like the WSH and then the cherry blossom that they have on it. That was pretty slick.
Is that new?
That was the old one. The new one is it's like a map of DC Metro.
Okay.
And then blue, and then the DC on the west.
Like some of them were cool, but I do agree where some of them didn't fit the theme of the city. Like so, I think it was San Diego where theirs was all like neon, and people were bitching about it. Where it would
that was San Diego saying we hate being different.
like I think the San Diego one looks cool, but do you think it would have made more sense in Miami?
It was more of a we have an opportunity to go Jersey, we're going to take it. But do you think the city connect? So on the point of Washington, that just they're the first team to go to a different one?
I think so.
Do you think they should do that? Reevaluate it every 5-10 years?
So the NBA does one like literally every year.
That's right. Yeah, right.
They redo their City Connect every year, which, I mean, if you notice the Sixers, like, just use them as an example, they did one 2 years ago, which was like a blue City Connect maybe, that was like trying to go back to the spectrum. They did one last year, and then this year they did a white one that went back to the spectrum. So it's like, they're kind of running out of ideas, things to do. So I think it should be a longer span in between. So like 5 years seems appropriate.
I like the idea of the City Connect. I mean, at the end of the day, it seems like it was just a cash grab, and that is one. If you do it the right way, it's a big cash grab. I just think that the jerseys, like, I think it would be cooler. Depending, I don't know if it would need to be every 5 years, but I think it's a good way to get people like.
Listen, more jerseys is better, in my opinion. I like different looks. I like different.
No, that's what I mean. Like,
styles.
because at least with like Philly, like if you go there on Friday night, you're getting the City Connect jersey. So if you really want to see or focus on, all right, cool. Saturday nights are like the nights that you want to do it.
I think Thursdays are usually powder blue.
Hell yeah.
So I think what's cool about when it comes to baseball protocol is the offerings at ballpark. To me, and I know you've only been to Citizens Bank Park. I know you've been around the block, and there's ones that you've been to that I haven't been to, and there's one I think that I've been to yet. Is the offerings. Now, when it comes to Philadelphia, I don't like. To me personally, I don't like the way it's situated. I know they're making moves to fix it. But if you go to a city like Atlanta, San Diego, Boston, it's in the city. Philly's on the outskirts, and realistically, it's the stadiums, and then in the middle is Xfinity Line. So there's not much. If you're going down there, you're going down there with the sole purpose of the game. Yeah. I'm at a bar, I got some money, let me go stop over to the game type thing. What do you think about the locations of ballparks? Are they better in the cities, or are they better in the strategy of like?
All right, so for me personally, like, being in the area, I obviously prefer it to be out of the city. Like, I would probably go to less baseball games in Philadelphia if I had to travel in the center city. But I think if you notice a lot of the stadiums that are set up that way, the old stadiums. I mean, they're across the street kind of deal. So, like, with bigger cities like that, it's kind of harder. I think it works very well in Philadelphia.
Well, it's interesting, and I'll never compliment them again. Atlanta built up around the stadium, so they moved the stadium on the outskirts towards Kennesaw, and then they call it the Barbary, I think, or I don't know what the fuck it's called, but they have a name for it around it.
For the city too, like you said, like if I had to go to like when they were fighting stadium, not in Center City. How to have a stadium in Center City. The Center City is utterly disaster. If the city is spread out enough, it's not too bad. But if you've got a city like Philadelphia or New York City, where the center of it is just an absolute fucking cluster already, you don't want something like that in there because then it just makes it even more chaotic.
So like the way that, like, so you were bringing up like, you know, you can go to a bar right there or whatever, but like realistically,
park somewhere in the area, not necessarily in the parking lot, but park somewhere in the area. You can get on SEPTA and go anywhere in the city. I understand your idea of SEPTA, but like the public transportation can take you right into Center City, and you can have that life. You're not that far off of Center City and all that stuff.
Same thing with the Yankees. They're in the middle of the Bronx.
Yeah, and nobody wants to go to the Bronx.
But like, just like, for example, like Colorado, like being out there in Denver, like they're in the city, but it's kind of like right on the perimeter of the city where you can easily get in, you can easily get out, but you're still in that city life right there.
I think it's better. Like I think it's better because I think that would just make it. That's just going to make it worse at the end of the day.
So in the the instance of Philadelphia, I know I'm trying not to keep this too Philadelphia-centric, but right now it's just the 3 stadiums and Xfinity in the middle. They have project plans to build up around it, keeping it still on the outskirts, but kind of bringing the city to it.
Yeah.
Do you like that concept better?
I think if you do it in increments too, like don't oversaturate it, but if you put more there, like right now, yeah, there isn't a lot there. You've got the stadiums and you've got Xfinity, and that's about it. And that also itself gets a little boring after a while. Like you're very limited. So if you do it the right way and you build up around it, but not too heavy, it's not a bad idea.
Where I've seen that go wrong would be National Stadium. Because they built that there, and now all of a sudden there's so much shit around it.
Too much, yeah. I think if you do it the right way and you do it slow enough and you do it like not as compacted, it should be okay.
I mean, I like the fact that like if they build around it, I don't think they'll build it too big, and it's hard because there's 3 stadiums there.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it hard, because you have to manage, like obviously an Eagles game is going to have a lot more, traffic than a Phillies game, just because of the capacity of the stadium. So like you have to manage being able to deal with that too.
Yeah, you could have the perfect storm where there is the Eagles playing, maybe the Sixers playing, and maybe the Phillies playing.
I think they've set it up so that it's never 2-3 at one time, but there's definitely at least
I do wish
many times where there's been 2 of them.
more cities were like that though, where like all of the stadiums were like in a general vicinity, because a lot of stadiums aren't like that.
Yeah, it is definitely, but being from Jersey and being able to just get off the first exit and boom, be right there, that's wonderful. I guess it's just kind of...
Yeah, like if you're an outside person coming in, you're not really experiencing Philadelphia by going to that stadium.
Other things I want to talk about is we talked about the outside of the stadium. Let's talk about the inside of the stadium. Where maybe it's because I go there so much. It doesn't offer, but I have seen them take things away that used to be there that aren't there anymore. I remember hyping up the play place, the Fanatic play place.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened and it was gone.
I think one thing that pisses me off, and it's something that I said to you guys, is like, and I don't know if other stadiums are as bad about this, where they'll talk about like all these specialty foods and stuff like that, and they put them at one fucking place. So then you've got all 8 billion people in one spot. 75 food places serving the same hot dogs, pretzels, and fucking nachos, and when you could put it in multiple throughout the stadium and make it easier on everybody.
The thing I love about Citizens Bank that I enjoy more about other stadiums that I've been to is Akron out.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that like
it doesn't need to be wider. I get what you're saying, but at the same time, like it's like it's chaos, but it's a good chaos. Like it's just like you get the feel. Like when I'm walking through Ashburn Alley, I feel like I'm at a baseball game.
Yeah.
Where like I've walked through. We'll use National Stadium for an example. There's a part of I think behind home plate. And that's the other thing about Philly. Like everything's open. You see all the way through. There's stadiums where when you get to a certain spot, it's just everything's cut off.
Yeah.
You can't see the field, so it's just kind of pointless to try to even.
Was it Fenway in Pittsburgh? You actually get stopped and have to physically walk back around because you can't do the.
Yeah, there's like a certain. Yeah. I don't think Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh. There's a spot where you have to like. It's a real long throw. Like you have to like go down and go back up, and
they're both a pain in the ass. Like right around. I want to say home plate. It's like where you can't get. I know Fenway's over.
I get what you're saying, because you are waiting in line, you still have a chance. It's just annoying because like I went there for the one game and I was trying to find the goddamn baseball filled with margarita. One place had that. One place, and they don't even mark it where it's at. They don't even tell you the fucking thing where you look when you're trying to fucking find it. It's annoying. Like, I get if you're gonna have the specialty stuff, but like, put it in more than at least 2. Like, there's an opportunity to not have a line.
I'm worried about going to see a baseball game rather than.
Sometimes you need the margarita, okay?
You'll have fun in Pittsburgh because you can Chicky and Pete's line. Chicky and Pete's line is non-existent in Pittsburgh, and they need in Philly.
So you gotta go buy some fucking pierogies.
Yeah. Which I have done that as well. So the pierogi is like right next to it, and then Chicky and Pete's like, oh, you're from Philly.
Like every time Eric comes one of those damn things, it's that like spotlight on that face. I'm running to get it, and
see, I mean that's rotating. Especially like I know Philly does that out, and they're like, places because you got to keep the quality.
Just saying like 1 or 2 instead of just at least 2 instead of just a singular. Because then you spend 3 innings in line just trying to get it.
I mean, that's a whole nother the game. I don't know if we want to.
To your point with the experience, when it comes to that, I see your point where it's a specific item, they probably order a specific amount of stuff, and they have to keep it within a specific store. Do it at least on maybe 2 levels.
That's what I mean.
I don't like that you have to.
It's at least 2. Like, don't do it on just one. Like, it's at least 2. So that way, even if it's just like on both sides of the stadium, like you don't have to do the whole lap around the stadium just to get to what you're trying to look for.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But marketing with behind that is spot, and you come in over here, you have to make the trip around rather than like, oh, I came in the first base gate and it's right here. To travel this way to get to that spot, you're probably going to go back this way to get back to.
Yeah, it's just something in the perspective of you miss out on a lot of the games to a certain extent sometimes.
Well, I don't care about money.
For sure. I know I've sat and we'll talk more about this probably on a baseball protocol where I've missed 2 innings waiting for food.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The way to pick up the speed on that. But we'll talk about the changing of the game and this.
But that's also where I think stadiums that are more open makes that a little bit easier.
Yeah. And that's the Ashburn Alley. Because the restaurants are in Ashburn Alley, and those are the ones with the packed lines. Chicky and Pizza there, Champs, or was it Campos or whatever? Campos?
Like, I remember the one year they had that cheeseburger on a fucking glazed donut. And we had no idea where to find it. We eventually found it, but we had to walk through the whole stadium like 2 times, and then the line was... It was crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I know that now. That was when I wasn't going as much, but like it was nuts. Like it was for that experience was crazy.
You got it.
I'll try.
Well, last topic when it comes to the game of baseball, is baseball itself. A lot of people make the argument it's better to go to the game than to watch it at home. Just because you're there at the ballpark, you got the feel. I want to know what's your opinion on at home versus.
It depends on the people the way that you're watching it. When you're watching it at home with Tom and John, that's the funniest fucking thing I've ever encountered. Those two are just 2 old dudes watching a baseball game. But when it's not them...
You get wrestling updates from fuck. It's nice. If you're watching a Friday night game, he's telling you what's happening.
It's high school philosophy class. Like, it's incredible. But I think that entirely depends on who you're watching and what network you're watching
it on. You're going to find out on a Saturday night game.
That's true. Yeah.
But like you get a different experience depending on where you're watching it from. Like when you go to the stadium, there is that energy and it is like it's something to do. Mm-hmm. I think that's so circumstantial.
Right. As a person who played the game, I definitely love being at the game more. Like, it's obviously a better experience. It does. I feel like watching it at home does depend on your announcers. Like obviously, as a Phillies fan, we have the best announcers in the game.
Honestly,
is the most outlandish shit. And do the most outlandish things. So it makes them entertaining.
We have the best home announcers.
Yeah. Yes. We'll specify that. But I don't know. I mean, to me, baseball is baseball. I love watching it either way. But if I had to pick one, it's definitely going to a game. There's just, I don't know.
I would obviously rather go, but I do say, like, at least, like you said, as a Phillies fan, we're a little biased because sitting at home and watching it isn't as bad either.
I mean, you probably have the perspective too, but like, I don't know how much Wade has gotten into watching games and stuff. But like, just like Maddie, not necessarily watching the game, but like
enjoying
everything going on around and just watching and doing all that. And like, I remember last year, like Bryce Harper smacked a home run, and we were like right in the area, and the area went wild, and he like freaked out for a second, and then went wild with it, and it was just like, all right, like that's the joy.
But you also don't get like the experience of like when the Fanatic tries to go to the stadium or like being on the jumbotron. No matter where you are, no matter what stadium, and it's always fun if you get on the jumbotron.
Yeah, the music, the in between inning stuff that it's not fucking commercials. I think to your point with the kids, they will watch a game with me at home. But at the stadium, they're more into it because now they're playing music. They like Alec Bone's theme because it's got that fun beat to it. Just things like that. Overall, though, when it comes to the baseball game, and we'll do this as the final topics. When it comes to I lost my train of thought.
I do that often.
My final thoughts on baseball when it comes to baseball protocol and the fan experience as a whole.
I love it. It's one of my favorite experiences. I've been to every sporting event. Only thing that I don't want to say the only thing that matters it is honestly NHL. NHL can be a lot of fun.
Especially if there's a fight.
I feel like even like the little rumble in a crowd, just like for me as a baseball player, like person who grew up playing it, it's just like I don't know, it gets me amped up every time I go. So I love it.
No, I would much rather go to the game than watch the game for sure. Like there is an energy, especially at any stadium you go to. Like it's different. It's more fun. You got the people around you. You're all there for the same purpose at the end of the day.
I can tell you what's good.
I was gonna say, even like watching a game at home, like for me, like there's like a peaceful calmness about like when like the pause in between talking, talking, and it's just like you hear the game being played, and it's just like, all right, like I can go sleep to this because it's like calm. Like I understand people are like, oh, it makes me tired, blah blah. Like no, it's just because it's a calming game. I like that's happening every second.
No, I agree. I think, at least for me personally, and I think this was the I've forgotten, is as a guy who was not sports oriented as a kid, and not like I played soccer because I was forced to play soccer, but as someone who wasn't following football, wasn't following baseball, wasn't following hockey, the fan engagement that baseball does is what drug me into the sport over things that, like, I'm not saying that football, hockey, and basketball are bad at it, but baseball, being outside, their fan engagement just was a better.
Realistically, they have to do that a little more than others. For it is,
It's also there's just so much of it. You have to keep it interesting.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's going to do it for this week on the protocol. Let's go over the specifically Phillies. Yes, dance and bitching about whatever player pissed us off that week.
Phillies in 6.
Phillies in 6. Trish, what do you got going on?
Nothing.
Game time is around the corner, April 25th to the 27th. Friday will be 10 a.m. to 2 a.m., Saturday 10 a.m. to 2 a.m., and Sunday 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
I'll be there.
We'll all be there. Hopefully we're going to have a touch point on it at some point, or we had a touch point on it. Things were said. Anyway, we're going to be giving away Phillies tickets on the Friday night. Saturday, we'll be giving away $200 gift card to Amazon, and then Sunday, we'll be giving away a Sony PlayStation 5. $5 will get you into the raffle at the GoFundMe. Ignore the disclaimer at the bottom of it. GoFundMe just a prick and maybe put it there. I'll send you a message to let you know all the information. Anyway, that's the big one. Like he said, Jersey Fanatics drops every Wednesday, drops every Thursday. Dropping every Friday. Who knows? Anyway, that's going to do it for us here on the protocol. I've been Chris Dace Man Dace. He's been Tyler Fried.
Deuces.
She's been Tricia Bell. More $1 stick to the protocol. We'll see you next week.